All right, guys, welcome back to the crypto segment on the Highs and Lows podcast, where we talk about everything happening in the crypto space. And a whole lot has been happening within the last few days, particularly within the last 48 hours. Like a whole lot has been happening. We have the good parts, we have the ugly side, we also have the neutral aspects of the plenty that's been happening. Yeah, but the most interesting part, or should I say the most obvious, is the fact that the crypto market experienced like a huge dump. So first we saw Bitcoin make a new all-time high, which most persons were very excited. We got to almost $124,500, which is really huge for just one Bitcoin. And after which we saw like a huge dump in barely 24 hours after we hit that new all-time high. We saw a huge dump. So I'm going to be explaining why we saw that dump, what happened, and also what to expect from the market. So yeah, the major reason why we saw that dump was because of what we refer to as the PPI index, or PPI basically, that was actually announced on the 15th of August, which is like what traders look forward to. You get to decide what happens in the market. And the PPI news wasn't received very well. Yet most persons saw it to mean that we won't get the interest rate cuts that we were expecting in the month of September, and that was a very dicey period for us to receive that PPI news. Yeah, because Bitcoin was already up there at over $123,000. So that's made us see like a huge dump to almost $117,000, which we saw the ripple effect across. Even the stock market felt it, but the crypto market felt it the most because most coins dumped, and over $1 billion was actually liquidated within a space of roughly 6 hours or thereabouts. Over $1 billion. So you can imagine people lost so much money just based on that. It was so bad because the market just saw like a 15 minutes negative $3,000. You can imagine. Yet, so that obviously took most traders unawares. Yeah, so that's about that. But looking to the future, what to expect. Now, I'm not talking of the next 1 year, I'm talking of the next few weeks, a month or two. I strongly believe Bitcoin will bounce. Even if we correct to about $115,000, we would still see like a reasonable bounce and still see a new all-time high that would be created. So no cause for alarm. For the spot traders, for those that buy and hodl, you have nothing to be bothered about. In fact, it's even something to celebrate because now you can be able to buy most of your favorite tokens at cheaper prices. But for leverage traders, it was actually blood. It was bad news, very, very bad news. It was a bloodbath and they lost so much money. So you need to be very careful for those trading features. You have to be very, very careful. Now, some other things to look out for in the market. Some other interesting things that happen. FTX, the failed exchange, they've started distributing the funds that they were owing those that had money in the exchange. And for those that can recall clearly, the FTX exchange crashed 2022. I think that was November. We saw like a huge crash that caused a huge liquidation event that even made Bitcoin as at then to crash below $16,000. This was November 2022, and it was a terrible incident. It was one of like the biggest black swan incidents we've had in the history of cryptocurrencies. It was worse than the Mt. Gox hack that happened way back before Bitcoin even got to $10,000. But yeah, they finally started reimbursing those that lost funds, and they paid out about $1.9 billion. So this is actually good news. Now, why I say it's good news is because for the first time in a very long while, we've seen an exchange try to like reimburse those that lost their money when the exchange crashed. And secondly, one way or the other, these people would put back this money into the market. Yeah, so plus minus, you can see about 40% of that money would find its way back to the market because, mind you, these guys were crypto natives. Yet, so they would find a way to like see some assets that they can purchase and all of that. So that's actually some good news. So then we move to the meme market. What's happening in the meme coins market? So, lots of persons have been losing money in the meme market, while lots of persons have also been making money. But at the same time, the meme market can be very brutal, and it can still be very rewarding. So, for what happened just this week, most meme traders were actually burnt. They lost like some good amount of money. And why? That was because of a meme that was actually launched. The meme was launched so that the fees collected could be given to Mr. Beast to support one of his projects. You get that he's trying to raise funds for. And this meme was launched on a meme trading platform known as Bags. Yeah, that's where it was launched. Well, just a few minutes after this meme coin was launched, it did really well. It ran to almost $7 million FDV. And while the founder of the platform was in a live stream, Mr. Beast was on a live stream, Adin Ross, I think, too, was also on that live stream. Suddenly, the meme dumped from slightly above $7 billion FDV to way below $1 million FDV. It actually did what we refer to as a rug pull, you get, in crypto. So we saw like that huge dump, which saw lots of meme traders lose crazy money. Some persons lost as much as $100,000. Like, imagine your $100,000 just dumped to like $10,000, or just dumped to like $8,000 in a space of 15 to 30 minutes. You get. So it was very, very devastating. Lots of traders were very unhappy. You get. And we have most persons now calling the meme platform and Bags a rug, and also a shitty meme platform and stuff like that. But the take home here is this: you have to be extremely careful, because in as much as people lost crazy money in this whole fiasco that happened, at the same time, you can still see another meme in a few days' time that would do some crazy numbers. So you have to really, really be careful. Now, another thing here is, this brings us to why it's very relevant and important to always take profit, because most persons in that meme, by the way, I'm not supporting the rug, I'm not supporting that, I'm not saying it's good that it happened, no, but you just need to play safe. Most persons in that meme, they were actually up in profit. You get, most persons that invested in say $3,000, 2,000, they were up $6,000, 8,000, 10,000. You get, they were up in profit 200, 300, 400% in a very short period of time. You get, in a very short period of time, they were up in profit. But they were looking at the possibility of, this could be more. This can actually run to be worth over $100K. This my $3,000 that is now $8,000, or that is now 7.5, it can eventually get to $50,000, which is true. Meme coins can actually do that within 24 hours, less than 72 hours. It can actually do that, no doubt. But at the same time, you also need to look at the negative side. What happens if suddenly it goes to zero, or it slashes your current position by 95%? So your 7K becomes 1,000 less than your invested amount. What happens? Will you be okay with it? Yeah, so these are like questions you need to ask yourself. If you'll be okay with it, fine, by all means, you can hold it till it gets to where you feel comfortable. But if you know that whatever amount you're seeing in that particular portfolio, in that particular investment, for that position that you're holding, if you know that if it goes to zero, you'll be devastated, you'll have a bad week or month, you'll transfer aggression, then that is the signal for you to actually take profits. Yeah, that's how to know when to take profits and when not to. For example, before the market crashed a few hours ago, most persons were in crazy profits, while Bitcoin was in like over $124,000. Ethereum was edging almost close to $5,000, over 7,700. Most alts were up really good. Futures traders were in very good profit. Spot traders were in very reasonable profit. Meme traders were in good profit also. But most persons, they were only thinking of, it could be more, it could be more. And greed is one very crazy thing in crypto that can always mess you up. So this is something that you should apply it when you're investing. Whenever you're up in profit, like personal rule I have, if within a very short period of time you're in very good profit, that's a sign that you should take out either your capital or capital and profit and leave a little there, or take out everything, especially when it happens extremely fast. So you guys want to ensure that you're always taking profits in the market, because the market will always present you with opportunities to buy. Yeah, now some altcoins we're looking at, since the market has dumped, that's presented us with some reasonable opportunities. Like, we've gotten some opportunities to buy some altcoins at cheaper prices. Now, they are not as cheap as they were a month ago. They are still kind of like more expensive. They are not as cheap as they were 2-3 weeks ago. They are not. They are still more expensive than then, but I mean, they're at a discounted price right now. So I'll be sharing some of my altcoin picks that I'm looking at. Now, this isn't all, and this isn't financial advice. This is just like some of the ones that I'm holding. They are more than this, and also I can always choose to re-strategize and readjust my portfolio and take some out based on how my research progresses and also the activities. So you want to take this with a pinch of salt. Yeah, so some of them are like one, Litecoin. I'm actually adding Litecoin to my portfolio. I'm holding a good portion of Litecoin, and majorly is because it's one of the oldest cryptocurrencies. And if there is another cryptocurrency that can be granted to be made an ETF, I think Litecoin has all it takes. So I'm adding Litecoin to my portfolio, and I'm also constantly adding more of it to my portfolio because of my long-term price projection. Right now, Litecoin is at $119, and we've been telling our community to buy since when it was below $100. By the way, the projection is simple. I'm expecting Litecoin to go above $300, and it can also go as much as $1,000. There's no time frame for this, by the way, but that's my projection. Another is Arwave. So Arwave is another project I've been accumulating since it was around slightly above $4. Right now is at 7.4, $7.40, and it's also something I'm projecting to get to over $30. Yeah, so I also have Chainlink. I've been holding Chainlink for a while, and I'm also looking to add a few more. So it's one of those projects I don't think is going anywhere. I feel even in the next 10 years, as long as the crypto industry and ecosystem is still here, Chainlink will still be here. Then Orai is one project that we've always spoken about to the community, and we are closely monitoring and observing what's happening in the ecosystem. So I'm actually expecting Orai. Currently is at $3.3, and it's aggressively undervalued. If I would use that term, it's aggressively undervalued. So I'm also expecting it to go above $20 long term. Mind you, there's no time frame for all of this. And like I said, I can always re-strategize and take some out of my portfolio based on how they are performing and also what the team is building. Yeah, and we also have Arkham. Arkham is around 48 cents. It's also a very, very vital project in the crypto space, even if some OG crypto personalities are not really happy with what they are doing in this space. But yeah, it's also a project that I feel it will still be around for the longest period of time. And for the record, they've been one of the projects that has done one of the best airdrops. I get one of the projects that did one of the best airdrops, even in the bear market. And also when the market had some green in it, they still did a second phase of the airdrop, which was really, really nice. Yeah, there's still lots of projects, but for now I'll just be sharing these few projects. I'll continue to update you guys in subsequent videos that will drop about what's happening in the crypto space. Now, most persons have been asking me, they've been saying, what do I think about Bitcoin price action, my expectation, and where do I think we're going to? So my take is this: I feel Bitcoin is still undervalued. Short term and long term, I feel we're still undervalued. Even if we are, as of now, we're at $119,000. I feel we're still undervalued. Now, why I say Bitcoin is still undervalued and why I feel so is because if you look at what is about to happen, and the fact that traditional finance, the big guys, they are not fully in yet. They're still just testing the waters. They're not actively in. And also, if you look at the fact that most countries will start accumulating more and more Bitcoin. Now, the crazy thing is this: they're accumulating not because they want to sell it, but they're accumulating it to almost never sell. Yet, so when you look at supply and demand, that would mean only one thing: the demand for Bitcoin will keep going higher and higher. And we already know the supply has been reducing. Yet now, at the same time, the circulating supply would also drastically reduce, because imagine when the USA keeps accumulating more Bitcoin. Imagine when the Chinese government keeps accumulating more Bitcoin. Russia keeps accumulating more Bitcoin. G20 countries, they start aggressively accumulating Bitcoin. You get now, you haven't spoken about or thought about other high net worth individuals that would be doing the same. And the crazy thing is, when these guys are accumulating, they are not accumulating because I'm buying one Bitcoin at $100,000. When it gets to 300,000 or 400,000, I'll sell it. That's not why they're accumulating. If you understand where they are building Bitcoin to get to, where we're trying to push finance to get to, you understand that the goal is not for them to sell Bitcoin at a profit. The goal is for them to be able to utilize that Bitcoin, borrow against it, use it as a hedge, and so many other things. Basically, they're not doing it to sell it, to flip it. No. So when you have that basic, I call it basic because there's so many other things I can't discuss in this video because of time. When you understand how big and how far this is going and how big it's going to be in a few years from now, you would understand that it's still undervalued. Like right now, no doubt in the next few years or sometime in the future, a Bitcoin can get to as high as $1 million. It sounds impossible, but if you've been around for as long as I've been around, when Bitcoin was still below $240, you understand that if we have seen it, or if I have seen it move from $240 to above $100,000, then what is 10 times higher from where it is at right now? You get, so a whole lot can still happen. Now, this is not an endorsement for people to go and start aggressively buying Bitcoin, saying, oh, they want to make so much money from it. I just give you like a brief analysis on why it would actually keep going higher. If you look at more companies that are busy accumulating and accumulating and accumulating, most companies are making good money via fiat, and they are converting that to Bitcoin. That should tell you something. And like I said, they are not doing this because they want to sell it. Even Tesla, the Bitcoin that Tesla bought some years ago, if you look at it right now, they're in very good profit. Now, if they're adding more, it's not because Tesla is planning that 1 year or sometime in the future, they will sell their BTC. No, that's not the plan. So either you like it or not, it will become even more scarce. There will be less and less circulating supply available to go around for traders. And naturally, based on economics, based on law of supply and demand, that would only mean one thing: it will get even more expensive. So should we see dips or dumps, even dropping Bitcoin down to $70,000 or $80,000, if at all, that would be like an opportunity for the big money guys to actually accumulate more at a cheaper price via DCA. So I'll leave you guys with this, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to like, share the video, and also don't forget to leave your questions. See you guys in the next episode. Bye bye.